Class 25 diesel number 25052 arrives from the north with a short train of clay hoods and comes to a stand at platform 3 of Parstiche station. Parstiche is a very small imaginary version of Power Station in Cornwall and sees trains typical of that station. The line to Newquay and St Blazes sheds and wagon repair facilities is assumed to be just through the tunnel at the south end of the station and is accessed via the up main line. The loco leaves the clay hoods in the platform and heads light engine to St Blazes for servicing. The wagons have been declared defective and need attention at St Blazes. Class 08 Shunter 08623 arrives to collect the wagons and transfer them to the works for repairs. The shunter and clay hoods are all standard Bachmann products and all have benefited from some careful weathering. The 08, which is at least 20 years old, is a very heavy model, has a large flywheel and a high gearing ratio. It therefore runs very smoothly and, more importantly, very slowly. Class 50, number 50020, Revenge, heads west with a loaded ballast train. The loco and sea cow wagons are all by Lima and, like most of my stock, are well over 20 years old. I am a great fan of the older models and especially those made by Lima. They may not be quite as detailed as some of today's offerings, but neither are they as expensive. Once weathered and placed on the layout, they look great. People have different views on weathering, with some preferring to run their models straight out of the box. I'm of the opposite view. Look at any pictures of the real thing and you won't find shiny black underframes or pristine roofs. So all my stock is carefully weathered. The sharp brake van at the rear of the train is by Hornby and one of the few items I have purchased new this year. Class 121 bubble car arrives at platform 3 with the local service from Newquay. This service is timed to enable passengers to cross to platform 2 to await the Penzance to London Paddington intercity service. Deliveries of HSTs to the Western region commenced in 1976 for services from London to Bristol and South Wales. By October 1977, all of those services were operated by HSTs. Partial intercity 125 working between London and Penzance commenced in October 1979. Crew training for intercity 125 workings into Devon and Cornwall commenced in 1978 and continued into 1979. Shortened formations were used, comprising just 3 trailers. They were stabled overnight at Long Rock Depot in Penzance. One of these short formations is seen departing from platform 2. The 121 bubble car now returns to Newquay. The Penzance to Glasgow parcel service arrives and pauses in platform 2. Once again, the loco and stock are all old Lima models. The pancake motors used by Lima are often derided, but I think that here you can see their performance is rather good. Slow running is further enhanced by fitting extra pickups to the unpowered bogie. I use feedback controllers on straight 12-volt DC, which give pretty fine control. Even the sound of the motors is not too unrealistic. Parcel stock was seldom if ever cleaned, and the general utility vans, or GUVs for short, in these shots reflect this. Another Class 121 arrival from Newquay glides, or should that be rasps, into platform 3. A Lima product which, in addition to my usual modifications, has had the couplings removed and new buffers, couplings and vacuum pipes added to each end. The layout is set in 1979, which plants it firmly in British Rail's much maligned blue period. Locos and rolling stock were dirty and punctuality was poor. Station buildings were often similarly neglected, and it looked like no one cared. Some people were even beginning to question whether in that state the railways had a future at all. However, all that changed with the introduction of this train, the HST or Intercity 125. It's no exaggeration to say that not only did this train save British Rail, it heralded a new revival in rail travel which continues to this day. A southbound 3-car formation on crew training duties leaves Parstiche for Penzance. The sides of this Hornby model have been left clean, but the bogies and underframes have been weathered, and the roofs repainted to get rid of the shiny look. This version does not have the exhaust cowlings which were later fitted, hence the build-up of trailing exhaust deposits on the cab roofs. The Class 121 burbles its way to Newquay. The clay hoods have now been repaired and are ready to be returned into service. The St Blaise shunter positions them in the siding and then returns to its depot. The Class 25 is an old Hornby model, at least 30 years old. Improvements to it include correcting the lean to one side, adding extra pickups, renumbering and, of course, weathering. As I hope can be seen from the video, and as I may have mentioned before, I like all my locos to run very slowly. The layout has insulfrug points, so extra pickups have been added to the unpowered bogies of all my old diesels. A simple job which improves slow running dramatically. The Class 25 has been refuelled and serviced and is ready now to take the clay hoods back for yet more trips from the China clay dries to the harbour at Foy. I hope you've enjoyed our first visit to Parstiche. There will be more visits, but that's all for now. See you next time.